And part of that old-fashioned assimilation is the citizenship test. It's designed to make sure people wanting to join our country understand our rights, liberties and laws. Now, you'd think this would mean questions about, I don't know, democracy, parliament and maybe who won the cricket last summer, but you would be wrong. I took a look at the test this week, or more accurately, the practice test thoughtfully provided online by the Department of Immigration. The first question aspiring citizens get is, as you would expect, it's a multiple choice question about Anzac Day. Fair enough. But I have to say, the second question took me a little by surprise. It's a question asking new migrants whether they know the colours of the Aboriginal flag. And if you're wondering, that was the only flag question. I know, right? Nothing about the Torres Strait Islander flag. Which reminds me there's another flag new citizens should probably be asking about, but nope, can't remember what that is. Neither can the Greens or pro-Palestinian protesters for that matter, but I digress. Continuing through the practice test, there are questions on the rights of women, when Australia became a federation of states, our capital city, voting, and the importance of freedom of speech. And then I came across this gem. Who can deliver a welcome to country? Now, unless the Department of Immigration is worried about new arrivals rushing the stage at council meetings to give an unsolicited smoking ceremony, I'm not sure why this is on the test. Most Australians, according to surveys, find welcome to country more divisive than unifying, but new citizens are being taught through the citizenship test, or at least the exam provided by the Immigration Department, that welcome to country is one of the great pillars of Australian identity, right up there with free speech and separation of church and state. I actually think it's pretty funny when you think about it. Nothing says to immigrants, welcome to your new country, like making sure they know they're never allowed to welcome people to their new country. Joining me is Centre for Independent Studies Indigenous Forum Director Warren Mundine. Warren, there are only 20 questions in the test. Are you surprised that protocols around welcome to country are considered important for new citizens to understand?
Just first of all, I'm not a director at the Centre for Independent Studies. I haven't been there for a few months. Anyway, look, I'm surprised by the questions. This is supposed to be about, you're going to become a citizen of this country. We should be explaining, in the questionnaire that people need to study and get the right answers for about what a great civil liberal democracy that we are, what our flag stands for, and what are the colours of the flag. How do we have our parliamentary system? How do we, have rights, liberties and freedoms and all those type of questions. But then they have, I remember when you used to see the old war films, in the black and white war films of America, they used to ask the baseball question. Well, I don't mind them tossing in the cricket question or the who won the AFL or the NRL. But it's, I just find it strange that, this is one of these watered down woke type things that, we should be, we should be taking the opportunity to really sell the country.
Well, I notice you've got the Australian flag behind you. What do you think about the fact the practice test, at least, asks about the Aboriginal flag, but doesn't mention at all anything about our national flag? I think that's very odd for a citizenship test.
I think it's bizarre. Actually, no, it's more than odd. I think it's disgraceful. If you're going to come to, I don't know about the citizen test in the United States or other countries, but I'm sure there is a question about the flag and what the United States flag stands for and why they've got stars and banners and stuff like that. Look, we got the Federation Star, we got the Southern Cross, and we got the Union Jack in it, and the colours of red, white, and blue. I think people should understand what those colours actually mean. I'll be surprised if a lot of Australians don't even know what they mean, because when I was at school, we used to be taught all that stuff, but I don't think they actually do that anymore. Mm-hmm.
So, Warren, when you've only got 20 questions and at least two of them, the flag question and the welcome to country question, seem more ideological than essential to national identity. What do you think is going on here?
Well,
is this accidental or is...
No, it's deliberate. It's a deliberate move by these ideological people who don't like Australia. They actually, don't like our flag. They don't like our constitution. They don't like our constitutional monarchy. They don't like the idea of the federation, the states and the territories, and the local government and that, and the election processes and all that. They just don't like the country. That's the obvious thing, because if you do love Australia and you do love this place, which it is a fantastic country. It's one of the best countries in the world, and one of the most freest and liberty loving countries in the world. You would have those questions in there. What is the flag? What is the colours of the flag? What do those colours mean? What does the Southern Cross and the Federation Star and all that means within our flag, and the Constitution? What are the strong things about our Constitution in regard to liberal democracy and the freedoms and liberties that we have? These things should be straight there, and those civic questions should be there. I don't think kids these days learn about civics. They don't learn about what a great country had, and they don't learn about our history and that. So I just find it this is just ideologically driven, and it's a disgrace.
Yeah, I reckon you're absolutely right. Warren, I appreciate you joining me tonight. It's always great to chat with you. Thanks so much for your time.